We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines here now. Let me get caller from 256. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Self-employed. You know what I'm saying? Then you can't really talk that shit unless you're self-employed. You can't talk that shit then.
Well, this is what happens when you allow the deadbeats to get near a phone.
They must have weed half off in California. I hear they cut the prices recently.
Area code 256 now. Is that the Carolinas? Somebody looked it up for me real quick. Is that, no, 256, is that Mississippi? Is 256 Mississippi is what I'm thinking. Somebody look that up real quick and find out area code 256. Let me get caller from 918. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Yes, sir. I got into a conversation earlier with one of my prior
Okay, slow down.
Okay?
Slow down.
His point was...
Whoa, hold on a second.
Sorry,
You're going to just sit here and talk over me, buddy? What the hell's your problem?
No, sir, I didn't mean to do that.
What is your name?
Jonathan, sir.
Hello, Jonathan. Where are you calling from?
Lancaster, California, sir.
Lancaster, California. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. What's on my mind, sir, is that I got into a debate earlier with one of my prior service friends. We were in the service together when we were stationed in Japan. But his point was that we should bow down and do what the law enforcement says, you know, because it ain't worth your life to go against it. My point was that, you know, people like Martin Luther King and other activists, you know, actually laid down their lives to do those type of things. And if history had ever shown that, you know, people were willing to stand up and do something about it, you know, they had to do it, you know, through action. That talking and diplomacy wasn't going to get it done. You know, he said, well, explain that to your daughter whenever you're dead, you know. And I told him, like, I'll teach my daughter to live with honor, that it's better to stand on your feet and go out that way than it is to die bowing down. But my point to you, sir, would be that it's not just a black and white issue at this point, sir. It's more so of a haves and haves not. And how far are the American people willing to go before they're willing to do something about this corruption and these law enforcement officers that feel like they can kill and do whatever they want to anybody they want to, and they're just going to get off.
Okay, well, let me ask a couple of questions here. First of all, how old are you?
Yes, sir. 26, sir.
26. What branch of the military are you in?
Navy.
Okay. Let me explain a couple of things to you here first. First of all, you are in the United States military, and they teach you that you are supposed to be following orders even if it costs you your life, correct?
Yes, sir.
That you are supposed to defend the Constitution and the people and the Constitution of the United States, so help me God, even if it costs you your life. Now, isn't that amazing that you were also talking to a fellow service member who took the same oath that you all would put your lives on the line if it meant defending the citizens? They want you to defend
other people.
They want you to defend every citizen except yourself and your family. Now, that they don't want you doing. That guy just told you that he is willing to die for orders from a superior officer, but he is unwilling to die to defend his family. Now, that should tell you something right there by itself. Here's the next thing. Are you black?
I'm mixed, sir. Actually, I'm biracial. My mother's white, my father's black.
Okay, well, I will let you determine.
So I've been on both sides of the track.
Well, I will let you determine what it is you want to be, but if you're going to sit here and talk about us, about the haves and have-nots, understand something, brother. I'm black. My biggest concern is not the American people. Why? Because I am not treated as an American person. You want me to give a consideration to the society that the society never gives to me. Eric Garner did not get the benefit of the doubt of being an American. He was a black man. So was Sean Bell. So was Oscar Grant. So was Rodney King, and you get the point. So you are asking for a consideration that this society has never given me. So when you talk about the American people and an American problem, well, that's real nice for Americans. Unfortunately, I'm not considered an American. I'm black. So you see, I see the world through black eyes and the black experience because I am a black person. And this society has designated me a black person. Now, if that ever were to change at some time in the distant future, and I did wake up one day and was actually an American, with all of the rights and the ability to abuse those rights and privileges and the ability to abuse those privileges as an American, maybe then we can have this conversation. But right now, what you just invoked, the idea that we should be concerned about, quote, American issues, that's make-believe. That's fantasy. You're telling us to act as if we are in a situation that we're not actually in. Well, just keep pretending and play along and behave like you're there. And eventually when you do get there, see, you were already playing along, so you were already prepared. No, I'm going to deal with where I'm at. And if I ever get there, I'll talk about that then. But brother, we are black first. We don't have American problems. We got black problems. You show me one white female or one white male ever that you can show me, ever, if this is a have and have-nots issue, show me one white female, ever, listen to me, ever, show me one who got the hell beat out of her on camera by a black police officer. Can you show that to me? Because we've been police officers in this country for over a century. Can you show me one white female who got beaten to death or choked to death by a black police officer? Name just one.
Honestly, you couldn't do it, sir. I mean, that wasn't the point of the argument.
Okay, but that is the point. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the point. I'm talking about what you said.
Yes, sir. But from the same perspective, I mean, I'm mixed, so that line in the sand isn't usually drawn for me.
Well, brother, that line in the sand is there. That line in the sand is there. You let the police roll up on you. Let me just tell you right now, if you were with two of your black friends and you all get accused of raping a white girl or robbing a liquor store, you are going to get the same time as the rest of them. You're definitely going to get the same charges. You might, if you weren't the trigger man, you might get a slightly lower sentence. But you are fooling yourself if you think that this society sees you as anything other than black. Now, you can claim whatever you want to claim. You go right ahead and you do that. I'm not here to convince you of anything. You don't want to be black? Brother, you go right ahead. I'm just letting you know that, by the way, when you walk out that door, everybody else sees you that way. By the way, just thought you should have a heads up.
Trust me, sir, I didn't need a heads up. I grew up in Oklahoma where it was racist, and we still deal with a lot of racism, but that is to say you can't excuse the black community from being racist either.
Wow.
I got jumped.
How can black people cannot be racist, son? That's a physical impossibility. Black people are physically impossible.
That's certainly a possibility.
No, okay, define racism. Tell me what it is.
Racism is judging another class of people or another culture of people by the skin color. The color of their skin.
Wrong.
How's that
wrong? That is called prejudice.
Which is a subcategory of racism.
No, it is not. They are two separate species. Racism.
How is that not?
Son, you're about to learn something. Racism is a group activity. And it requires power, wealth, and influence. Racism is when one group of people who have power, wealth, and influence abuse that against a weaker group of people based upon the color of their skin. If you do not have the power to be racist against somebody else, in other words, if I don't have the power to take something, if my group does not have the power to take something from another group of people, to oppress them systematically, because racism is a systemic practice. It's not one guy don't like you because you're black, or I don't like him because he's Mexican. It is a systemic practice of exercising my power over another group of people based on the color of their skin. Without that power component, there's no such thing as racism. It's just he doesn't like you. It becomes, let me give you a better analogy. When George Zimmerman was stalking Trayvon Martin, that was not racism. When George Zimmerman shot Trayvon Martin, that was not racism. When George Zimmerman and the police colluded against Trayvon Martin, that was not racism. When George Zimmerman stalked Trayvon Martin because he was black, shot Trayvon Martin because he was black, the police let him off because he was black, and then a jury acquitted him of murder, that was when it became racism. A system of a group of people who have the power to victimize another group of people based on the color of their skin. If George Zimmerman had been shooting Trayvon Martin, screaming nigger, nigger, nigger all day, that's not racism. That's a bigot. That's a prejudiced bastard. But that's not. It doesn't become racism until his group gives him the power to do it. Once they gave him the power to do that, now it's racism. Now it's an American institution. Now it is lynching. Now it is Mississippi burning. Now it is Emmett Till. Now it is Dr. King. When that happens, you've bought into a fallacy. Partly because I suspect you may want to believe it. The other part because you're young. And you need to get over that. I've seen just as many black males and high yellow black males get gunned down in California as I have anywhere else across this country. And for you to say I've got a foot in both worlds, I got a foot on both sides of the tracks, that tells me that you are woefully naive. And I mean that as respectfully as I can say that. You are woefully naive, brother. There is no such thing as both sides of the tracks. There is no part of white society that accepts you. There's nowhere in white society that you can go where you are accepted as a white person. Nowhere you can go. Show me the birthplace and the origin place of mixed people. Show it to me. Tell me the place where mixed people came from. Show me their cultural heritage and their cultural legacy. Show it to me, son.
Well, if you mean it from the historical standpoint of America, then yeah, obviously it was
anywhere,
raping
anywhere,
black girls,
anywhere.
Yeah.
Show me the place on earth where. Show me the origin, son.
People of a mixed complexion and.
Son, show me the place where mixed people's legacy comes from. Show me the great legacy of mixed people in history. Show me that great place, because I can show you ours as Africans, from Ethiopia to Egypt. I can show you white peoples, from Ireland to the Anglo-Saxons. Show me the great historical places of mixed people. Show me their legacy. Show it to me.
There's really not a legacy for that.
Now, do you notice how many questions I've asked you and you've had to say, no, it's not, no, it isn't, no, well, it's not there. It's time for you to start re-examining your worldview. Once you start having to answer, I don't know, to that many questions, I don't see it, no, it's not there, but I believe in this thing. That's called religion. That's called a belief system. And belief systems are fine as ideals. Ideals are a wonderful thing. I've got them too. Ideals become dangerous when you try to live your life as if the world agrees with your ideal, when all you really brought is a belief system. Now, here's the other thing that I'm wondering here. Now, how long have you been listening to my broadcast?
For the last about half hour or so.
So you just started listening today?
Yes, sir. Well, there was a young lady that posted that you were commenting about what we were talking about, so I just tuned in to see what you had to say, and have been listening since.
Okay, just understand something, okay? You cannot complain about white supremacy, racism, bigotry, or white hatred as long as you say I have one foot on either side of the tracks. Okay?
I just don't think it's that simple. That'd be like me saying my mother is an evil bigot because she's a white person.
Did I say you had to say that?
And that's... No, but I'm saying...
Okay, wait a minute. Whoa, no. You said that's the same as me saying nobody said that, so you're just making that up yourself. I'm not going to argue against things that you are talking about. I'll argue against what I'm saying, but I can't argue against stuff you make up in your own head. I can only argue against the things that I say. So nobody said that. Did I mention your mother one time? Whoa, son, have I mentioned your mother even one time?
The point
son,
being that
did I mention your mother?
I'm not your son. I'm not your son. Listen how ignorant you sound. I'm not your son.
Yeah, you are.
I am not your son. My father was a crackhead black man that left my mother high and dry.
And it sounds like your mom taught you a lot. And it sounds like your mom. Well, you know what? Your mother taught you to be weak.
White people want.
Then your mother taught you to be. Your mother taught you to be weak.
Reigniting the race wars, and so people annihilate each other instead of trying to find.
Your mother taught you to be weak, is what happened. Your mother taught you to be weak, and she taught you to bow to white supremacy. Now, did you all notice he did not get upset when we talked about black folk? He didn't get upset about that. He called in specifically to argue in favor of white supremacy and the white side of his family. Now, he's arguing in favor of that. As far as black folk, he don't give a damn about that. What happens to black folk, that's not bothering him. But you notice that he got ventilated about his mother. So his dad is a no-good crackhead, but his mama is the good, white, precious, ivory-skinned queen. And do you all think that he is going to lift a finger? That is the bad side of biracial people. That's why we tell them you got to be all in or nothing. Because that guy right there, he'll snitch to the cops. That guy right there will tell them where the slaves are hiding. Dr. John Henry Clark never got to write his book, The Bastards of History. We might have done well to have that.